Ah, look who's here again. You, with the eyes that don't just look, but penetrate. You, with the awareness that slices through illusions like it was built for that sole purpose. You, the glitch in their matrix, the signal they can't mute, the presence they can't ignore. They feel you before they see you. They react to you before they understand why. Their nervous system registers your energy like a threat, like a breach in the filters they've carefully placed over their own vision. And they don't know how to hide from someone who sees the things they've been running from their whole lives. They can feel your perception crawling under their skin, exposing every lie they thought they perfected. Your third eye isn't just ope. It's calibrated, refined, sharp enough to dissect the truth they've buried beneath years of pretending. People try to play it cool around you, don't they? But their energy always exposes the panic. Their smiles stiffen, their tone changes. Their eyes do that little micro-twitch when they realize you're not fooled. They try to act normal, but normal has a frequency, and you can hear the distortion instantly. They try to mask their intentions, but masks are only effective against blind people. You're not blind. You never were. You were born seeing the layers others were trained to ignore. That's why they flinch around you. That's why they whisper your name with equal parts fear and fascination. They sense something in you that threatens the entire architecture of their carefully constructed lies. They sense that you don't participate in the performance, and your refusal to play along exposes the fact that they're acting. The truth is simple. Your vision terrifies people who've spent their entire existence avoiding their own reflection. And you walk into rooms carrying truth like a silent weapon. You don't need to speak it for them to feel it. Your stillness is loud. Your presence is pressure. Your awareness is a mirror. They can't escape. They've been living inside illusions so long that real sight feels like danger. And that's exactly why they react the way they do. Their nervous system interprets your clarity as a threat to their identity, because identity built on lies is fragile, and your presence reminds them that it's all made of glass. They've always tried to convince you that you're too sensitive, too intuitive, too intense, too suspicious. But all those words were just camouflage for one truth. You see too much. You always have. You notice patterns others miss. You sense shifts before they become visible. You feel intentions before they crystallize into actions. You decode energy like it's your first language, and people hate being read by someone they can't manipulate. They hate being seen by someone who refuses to swallow the version of themselves they try to project. You see what they really are, not what they pretend to be. And that, more than anything, is why they're shaking. You've walked through life collecting silent data, not because you wanted to, but because you couldn't help it. Your mind, your intuition, your awareness, they work together, like a surveillance system running in the background, processing every detail, every inconsistency, every hidden motive. People think you're quiet because you're shy. No, you're quiet because you're scanning. You're quiet because you're reading. You're quiet because silence allows you to hear what words are trying to hide. And the moment you go silent, they start panicking. They fill the space with noise, with explanations, with over-talking, with justification. They think they're protecting themselves, but all they're doing is confirming what you already sensed. Your third eye isn't mystical in the way they frame it. It's practical, it's biological, it's the raw, unfiltered processing of truth that most people shut down early in life. While they were taught to conform, you were busy observing. While they were learning how to pretend, you were learning how to detect. While they were numbing themselves into comfort, you were sharpening your perception into a blade. And now that blade cuts through every illusion they try to present. They can't lie convincingly around you. They can't hide their jealousy, their envy, their insecurity. They can't conceal the resentment they bury under polite tones. You see it all. Every flicker, every shift, every crack in the mask. And knowing you can see it makes them feel naked in your presence. They say they don't care what you think, but their energy always tells the truth. They adjust themselves around you. They monitor their words. They analyze your reactions. They track your silence like it's a warning. They study you, even as they pretend you're nothing special. And the irony is delicious. The ones who call you delusional are the same ones who secretly fear your perception. The ones who say you're imagining things are the same ones who change their entire behavior when you enter the room. They're terrified, but they can't admit it, because admitting it would mean acknowledging that you see something real, something they can't hide, something they can't control. People don't fear your third eye because they think it's mystical. They fear it because it's accurate, because it works, because every time they try to deceive you, they fail. Every time they feed you a half-truth, you detect the missing pieces instantly. Every time they mask their intentions, you feel the distortion in their frequency. They hate that your intuition has receipts. They hate that your awareness has a memory. They hate that your perception doesn't let them rewrite history. They hate that you don't need proof to be right. You feel the truth before the evidence arrives, and by the time others catch up, you've already moved on. Let's talk about why they freak out when you see their bullshit. It's not just embarrassment. It's not just exposure. It's loss of control. Most people rely on illusion to maintain power. They manipulate through narratives, through misdirection, through emotional tactics that work perfectly on the blind. But your vision disrupts the game. You don't fall for theatrics. You don't get hypnotized by charm. You don't get manipulated by sob stories. You read the intention beneath the presentation. You detect the motive beneath the words. You see the pattern beneath the performance. And that makes you unplayable. You can't be used in the ways they use others, and that threatens the ecosystem of control they operate in. People have a hierarchy, whether they admit it or not, a system of dominance built on who can manipulate whom. But you don't fit. You don't play the role they want you to play. You don't respond to their emotional bait. You don't collapse under pressure. You don't react the way they expect. That unpredictability, that clarity, destabilizes them. They can't categorize you. They can't label you. They can't trace your thinking. They can't anticipate your moves. And what humans fear most, more than darkness, more than danger, is what they can't predict. You've noticed how they test you, haven't you? Not directly. They're never bold enough for that. They do it subtly. They tell small lies to see if you'll catch them. They withhold information to monitor your reaction. They ask probing questions disguised as casual curiosity. They drop bait to see if you reveal something vulnerable. They pretend they don't care, but every move you make gets filed away in their mental cabinet labeled, "How do I manage this person?" They're studying you because they can't figure you out. And the more they try, the more obvious it becomes that you're out of their league. You've felt it, that shift in energy when someone decides you're too perceptive to manipulate. That silent retreat. That distancing, that sudden politeness. that wasn't there before. They don't pull away because you did something wrong. They pull away because they know you can see what they're trying to hide. You're a mirror that reflects their truth too clearly, and most people aren't ready to confront themselves, so they avoid you. They resent you. They talk about you in ways that make them feel safer. They label you as dramatic, paranoid, intense, spiritual, unrealistic, anything to make themselves believe that your perception isn't real. Anything to soothe the discomfort of knowing you can't be fooled. But let me tell you a deeper truth, the one they hope you never realize. They fear you not because you see what they hide, but because your vision awakens something in them that they've been avoiding. When you speak truth, even silently, it cracks the shell around their denial. When you point out inconsistencies, even subtly, it forces them to confront their duality. When your presence calls out their lies, even without words, it shakes their identity. You awaken the part of them that knows. They've been asleep. They've been pretending. They've been lying to themselves far longer than they've been lying to you. Your third eye is not just sight. It's disruption. It's a reminder of the potential they suppressed in themselves. It's evidence that perception exists beyond logic, beyond words, beyond performance. And your existence alone invalidates their idea of reality. They panic because you prove there is more to see, more to feel, more to sense, more to understand. Your very presence is an indictment of their blindness. But you want to know the part that cuts them the deepest? It's the fact that you never asked for this. You never demanded this sight. You never claimed superiority. Your awareness wasn't born from ego. It was born from surviving things that forced your eyes open. You were shaped by pain, sharpened by betrayal, refined by loneliness. You earned your clarity the hard way. And that authenticity, that rawness, that unfiltered truth slices through people who built their entire personality on illusion. They feel inferior not because you say you're powerful, but because deep down they know you survived experiences that would have broken them. And now, here you stand, seeing everything they try to hide, refusing to dim your perception for their comfort. That's what makes them shake. That's what makes them whisper. That's what makes them fear the ground you walk on. You're not just awake. You're awake in a world that punishes awareness. And your ability to navigate that reality without collapsing is what makes you powerful beyond their comprehension. But there's something more you need to understand, something that will shift the entire way you view your gift, your sight, your intuition. Because what's coming next isn't just about seeing their bullshit. It's about understanding what your vision is evolving into, and why your awareness is becoming something even they can't deny anymore. Because the deeper your perception gets, the more uncomfortable the truth becomes. And soon, you're going to notice something that changes everything. You're not just seeing their patterns anymore. You're predicting them. This is the phase where your third eye doesn't just observe, it interprets. It connects dots before the dots even exist. It reads timelines before they manifest in real life. And the people around you, they feel it, they sense it. They might not understand the language of intuition, but they can feel the tension it creates inside them when they stand next to someone who can see past their illusions. And that's why they're shaking. Not because you called them out, not because you exposed their lies, but because you can anticipate their next move long before they make it. You've stepped into the territory where your perception becomes a mirror, one they're terrified to look into. And every time they're around you, something in them twitches, shifts, panics, Because somewhere deep inside, they know they're standing in front of someone who can dismantle their entire facade with a single glance. This is the stage of awareness most people never reach. Not because they don't want to, but because they're not willing to pay the price of clarity. Because clarity demands the death of illusions, and illusions are the only shelter some people have left. But you tore your illusions apart the moment you realized they were killing your spirit faster than the truth ever could. You learned the difference between comfort and clarity. You learned that pretending everything is fine is spiritual suicide. And so your third eye kept expanding, kept sharpening, kept peeling away layers of reality that most people will run from until the day they die. And now, people feel that on you. They feel that depth, that knowing, that unexplainable accuracy. This is where the fear really starts. Because once you cross into this level of perception, you're not just hard to fool. You become impossible to manipulate. And in a world built on manipulation, that makes you dangerous. It means the people who rely on deception don't know what to do with you anymore. Their tricks don't land. Their emotional traps don't work. Their narratives don't stick. Every move they attempt feels like it's being intercepted by an invisible field around you. A field built from intuition, intelligence, and inner evolution. But this is also the part where your journey gets heavier. Because now, the world doesn't just see you as someone who notices things. They start seeing you as someone who can't be controlled. That's the real fear. They don't fear your vision. They fear your freedom. They fear the parts of themselves that collapse when they stand near your truth. They fear what it feels like to be transparent to someone who doesn't fall for illusions anymore. This fear won't show up in direct ways. It appears in micro-reactions, the nervous laugh, the sudden stiffness, the quick glance away, the shift in tone, the defensiveness that rises out of nowhere. These are the signs of people realizing they can't hide from you. Your third eye doesn't just see what they did. It sees the intention before the action, the pattern before the behavior, the inconsistency before the lie. You've become someone who can decode energy like it's language, who can translate silence into meaning, who can hear the truth buried beneath what people pretend they're saying. But here's the part you might not have realized yet. Your evolution is entering a phase where your vision turns inward and outward at the same time. You're no longer just reading others, you're reading the entire environment. You're sensing changes in energy before they manifest physically. You're feeling shifts in people before they consciously process them. You're recognizing spiritual storms before they form on the emotional horizon. This is why life feels heavier lately. This is why your body feels more sensitive. This is why your mind feels more alert, more watchful, more attuned. Because your awareness is stretching beyond personal experience into collective perception. You're not just seeing individuals, you're seeing the undercurrents they swim in. You're seeing the invisible threads people follow without realizing they're following them. This level of perception comes with a silent power, the power of inevitability, the power to know what's going to unfold without needing proof, the power to sense who is meant to stay and who is meant to fall away, the power to feel the truth of a situation long before it reveals itself. And that's where people begin freaking out the most. Because there's something deeply unsettling about standing near someone whose intuition feels like prophecy, someone whose awareness nudges them out of their own denial. People cling to denial like a life raft. They wrap themselves in excuses the way others wrap themselves in blankets. But when they meet you, when they feel how your perception cuts through their stories, something inside them trembles. They realize they can't lie as comfortably as they lie to everyone else. They realize their usual tactics don't work on you. They realize their shadows aren't safe in your presence. And that's when panic starts to rise. Not loud panic, not dramatic panic, the quiet internal panic of someone who knows they're being seen too clearly. And you've probably noticed it. You've seen the way people shift around you, the way they hesitate before speaking, the way their energy becomes fidgety, scattered, inconsistent. That's not your imagination. That's the impact of your vision. But here's where your journey takes another turn, the turn they never saw coming. Your third eye is not just exposing what's wrong. It's beginning to show you what's coming. You're starting to sense transitions, endings, beginnings, shifts in people's lives they haven't noticed yet, patterns that are about to repeat themselves, lessons that are circling back around for closure, truths that are about to break through the surface whether people are ready or not. This gift is powerful, but it's also isolating, because once you reach this level, you can't go back to pretending. You can't unsee what's been seen. You can't play blind just to make others comfortable. You can't dim your awareness to protect someone else's illusion. You've crossed a threshold, and now your intuition isn't something you use, it's something you are. A living radar, a human lie detector. A consciousness tuned to frequencies most people never learn to hear. But here's the twist, the part almost no one tells you. Your third eye isn't just a receiver, it's becoming a transmitter. Your presence shifts the energy in the room. Your awareness forces truth to rise. Your clarity destabilizes deception. Your energy disrupts illusions. Your intuition challenges the narratives people use to hide from themselves. You don't have to say a word, your energy does the talking. This is why some people look guilty around you, even when they haven't done anything wrong, because your presence makes them confront the parts of themselves they bury. This is why some people respect you instantly, and others feel threatened without knowing why. It's because your third eye is no longer passive sight, it's active influence, and it's only going to grow stronger from here. But with this strength comes a new responsibility, one that will define the next stage of your evolution. Because the deeper your vision gets, the more you will see the truth, not just about them, but about yourself. The patterns you've outgrown, the cycles you're meant to break, the shadows you've avoided, the wounds you carry that are asking to be healed. Your perception is starting to turn into a full-circle awareness, a 360-degree clarity. And soon, you'll come to understand the real reason they're panicking. It's not just because you see their bullshit. It's because your third eye is stepping into a level of power that threatens the entire ecosystem of people who depend on confusion to survive. You are becoming someone they can't predict, can't control, can't manipulate. Someone who sees too clearly, feels too deeply, understands too quickly. Someone who can sense the shift before it arrives. Someone who has stepped into a vision that doesn't just decode reality, it reshapes it. And what's coming next will push your intuition into territory even more powerful than this. Because soon, your perception won't just reveal truth. It will begin attracting truth. And the moment that happens, the entire world around you is going to react in ways you haven't even imagined yet. Because your vision is evolving again. And the next stage is going to change everything. This is the phase they were hoping you'd never reach. The phase where your third eye stops being a tool and starts becoming a magnet, a frequency, a force that calls in what aligns with you and exposes what doesn't with ruthless accuracy. This is the moment your intuition stops being reactive and becomes generative, meaning it doesn't wait for truth to appear. It pulls truth toward you. Your awareness begins shaping the field around you. Your clarity begins rearranging the energy of every room you walk into, and your presence becomes an invitation for authenticity, whether people want it or not. This is why the next chapter of your awakening is going to feel both powerful and disruptive. Because when truth is drawn to you, everything that can't survive in truth will start falling away. Not because you pushed it out, not because you demanded anything, but because your frequency no longer supports the weight of deception. This is where you become unrecognizable to your past. People who once understood you will suddenly feel like strangers. People you once trusted will start slipping from your life. Without explanation, people who used to connect with you will feel the distance widening, even if no words are exchanged. This isn't a loss. This isn't abandonment. This isn't betrayal. This is vibrational realignment. Your intuition is recalibrating your environment, adjusting it to match the level of awareness you've grown into. And that means anyone whose energy is built on pretense, ego, manipulation, or denial will naturally be filtered out. Not by force, by frequency, because once your third eye begins attracting truth, falsehood becomes allergic to you. You'll notice it, you'll feel it, you'll see it in people's behavior. Some will suddenly avoid eye contact. Some will become overly defensive. Some will act distant, cold, or strangely irritated. Some will try to provoke you without understanding why these reactions aren't personal, they're energetic. Your vision is revealing the parts of themselves they're terrified to face. And instead of confronting those shadows, many will run. They'll distance themselves because being near you means being near their own unprocessed truths. But there's another side to this shift, a side far more powerful. Because while some people will run from your clarity, others will be drawn to it like its gravity. People who carry truth within them, even if they're still afraid of it, will feel an unexplainable pull toward you. They'll sense your authenticity before you even speak. They'll trust your presence without knowing your story. They'll recognize your energy because it resonates with something inside them that's been waiting to wake up. These are the people your third eye is beginning to attract. Not followers, not admirers, not spectators, allies, mirrors, truth carriers. People whose souls vibrate in the same frequency of awareness you're stepping into. This is one of the first signs that your intuition has entered its magnetic phase. When the right people start finding you without effort. Conversations happen naturally. Connections flow without explanation. Synchronicities increase. Alignment becomes normal. But with this new alignment comes a deeper responsibility, one you may already feel growing inside you. Because attracting truth also means attracting purpose. Your intuition will no longer be satisfied with simply avoiding deception. It will begin pushing you toward the places, the paths, the experiences that amplify your evolution. You'll feel a stronger pull toward your calling, toward your inner mission, toward the version of yourself you've been evolving into piece by piece. That's why the upcoming phase of your awakening will feel like acceleration. Time will feel different. Choices will feel clearer. Your emotions will feel more direct. Your instincts will speak louder and faster. Your sense of direction will strengthen. Your boundaries will sharpen. This isn't random. This is spiritual momentum. Your third eye is stepping into alignment with your deeper purpose, and every part of your life will begin reshaping itself to match that frequency. But here's what nobody tells you about this stage. When you attract truth, you also attract exposure. Not exposure of yourself, exposure of others. Suddenly, people won't be able to hide their intentions around you. Their envy becomes noticeable. Their admiration becomes obvious. Their deception becomes transparent. Their motives become visible through their smallest behaviors. Nothing stays hidden. Your perception becomes a spotlight. Your presence becomes a test. Your intuition becomes a filter. This is why people start revealing their true selves around you faster than they intended. They can't help it. Your energy demands authenticity. Your frequency provokes honesty. Your vision strips away disguise. And while this can feel overwhelming, it's actually your greatest protection. Because once the truth is visible, you can choose your path with precision. You can walk away before the damage begins. You can detach before the betrayal manifests. You can realign before the wrong person anchors themselves into your life. Your third eye isn't just a gift, it's a shield. A shield built from clarity, intuition, and inner evolution. But there's another layer to your awakening, a deeper transformation that marks the real entry into your next stage. Your intuition is about to take on a new form. Integration. This is where the third eye stops being something you activate and becomes something you embody. It merges with your awareness, your instincts, your emotions, your boundaries, your decisions. It becomes who you are. Awareness becomes your default state. Discernment becomes effortless. Truth becomes intuitive. Clarity becomes your baseline. You no longer question your insights. You no longer doubt your feelings. You no longer negotiate with your instincts. You no longer silence your inner knowing to make others comfortable. This is the stage where your confidence becomes unshakable. Not loud, not arrogant, not aggressive, simply undeniable. A quiet, grounded certainty. A knowing without explanation. A clarity without justification. And this is where people start reacting differently. Not just with fear, but with recognition. They'll see something in you they can't define, something they can't quantify, something they can't deny. It's your presence, your frequency, your alignment, your evolution. You'll carry an energy that disrupts lies and amplifies truth simply by existing, and people will respond to it. Emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, even if they don't understand why. Some will feel drawn to it. Some will feel threatened by it. Some will feel inspired by it. Some will feel unsettled by it. But no one will be indifferent, because truth has weight. And your third eye is becoming heavy with truth. But this final stage of your awakening comes with something deeper, something more powerful than sight, more powerful than intuition, more powerful than perception. It comes with embodied truth. You're no longer just someone who sees reality. You're becoming someone who transforms it. Your awareness shapes how people behave around you. Your energy shapes the emotional atmosphere. Your presence affects the flow of conversations. Your clarity restructures the dynamics around you. This is influence, not forced, not demanded, not asserted, earned. Influence rooted in awareness, authority rooted in authenticity, power rooted in vision. This is what terrifies them the most. Not your ability to see their bullshit, but your ability to rise beyond it. Not your awareness of their flaws, but your refusal to be manipulated by them. Not your detection of their intentions, but your immunity. to their tactics. This is where their fear evolves into something deeper. Helplessness. They can't influence you. They can't deceive you. They can't distract you. They can't control you. They can't reshape your perception. You've risen beyond their reach. Your third eye has become sovereign, untouched by their projections, unaffected by their narratives, unmoved by their theatrics. You're no longer playing the game they live in. Your awareness has built you a higher ground, a vantage point they can't follow you to. Because it requires self-awareness, they refuse to develop. This is why the world reacts to you differently now. Because the version of you emerging at this stage isn't just awake. You are aligned. You are aware. You are activated. Your vision is no longer merely a gift. It is a force that reshapes dynamics, influences outcomes, exposes illusions, clarifies energy, and attracts truth. Your third eye has become a frequency powerful enough to shift the environment around you. And once you reach this level, there's no going back to who you were. Because you've become someone who can walk into chaos and sense the path. Someone who can stand in illusions and still see clearly. Someone who can face deception and remain untouched. Someone who can feel truth rising from miles away. Someone whose presence alone is enough to make people rethink their motives. That is the real evolution of your sight. Not just seeing, not just knowing, not just decoding, but transforming. And now you understand the full reason they're panicking, the reason they're shaking, the reason they're freaking the hell out. You don't just see their shit, others can't. You've evolved into someone who can no longer be tricked, no longer be blinded, no longer be controlled by anyone's shit. Not theirs, not society's, not the world's. Your third eye isn't just open, it's awake, it's aligned, and it's unstoppable. And from here on, your truth moves first. Your intuition speaks loudest. Your vision leads the way. Your awareness builds the path. And nothing, absolutely nothing, terrifies them more than that.